Good morning, Red Staters. This is Mo Lane, and I'm here today talking with Matthew Berry, who is running in Virginia's 8th Congressional District. Yes, that's the one with Jim Moran. Thanks for talking with us today, Matthew.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Now, if you could just really quickly describe yourself and why you're running.
Well, I previously served as general counsel of the Federal Communications Commission at the end of the Bush administration, and before that I worked on counterterrorism issues at the Justice Department, and I've also had the honor of clerking for U.S. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. And the reason I decided to get into this race, basically there are two reasons. First was tremendous concern about the direction of the country, in particular the growth of spending, the growth of the deficit, the growth of government. I think we're on track to rack up about $12 trillion of debt in the next 10 years, and if we don't do something about it, I worry we're going to find ourselves in a crisis like Greece finds itself today. And secondly, I think it's time to restore honor and integrity to the 8th District seat. Jim Moran has behaved in an unethical manner by trading earmarks for campaign contributions. He constantly makes offensive statements, whether it's blaming Jews for the Iraq War, accusing U.S. troops in Iraq of engaging in ethnic cleansing, or comparing Virginia Republicans to the Taliban. And I think he's embarrassed the district far too many times, and I think it's time that he be replaced.
Okay. If you could just tell us really quickly about the Virginia's 8th District. There are some who say it's a hard one for Republicans to compete in.
Well, it's a Democratic-leaning district, but we really have a unique opportunity this year for two reasons. First is that the ethical problems that Jim Moran has really taken their toll on his popularity. We did a poll of likely voters in the district in January and found that his deserved to be re-elect number was only 38%. So when you're a 20-year incumbent and your deserved to be re-elect number is below 40, you have a real chance to beat him. Secondly, in 2010, it's the once in every 12-year cycle in Virginia where the congressional race is the top of the ticket. And in a year like that, it's much easier to get people to focus on the individual candidates as opposed to just party labels. And so I think we have a real chance this year.
Now, as I understand it, the primary is not until next month in June, correct?
It's on June 8th, correct.
Okay. Now, if you could describe your campaign in a word or a sentence or a paragraph, how would you describe it?
I would say, if I had to describe it, I would say that we're stressing the importance of getting government spending under control, getting the deficit under control, aggressively fighting the war on terror, and restoring honor and integrity to the 8th District seat.
Okay. So you would not be a vote for the health care bill, or you would not vote for the stimulus or the cap and trade bills?
You're right. I would have voted against all of those. With respect to the health care bill, I've signed the Club for Growth's Repeal It pledge, and I believe that Obamacare should be repealed and that we should replace it with genuine market-based reform.
Okay. All right. In that case, I have a couple more questions for you, then I'll let you go.
Sure.
The first would be, you have a website, correct?
I do. It's Berry2010.com.
Okay. And the last question would be, actually, I tell a lie. I do have one more question before I ask my last one. Regarding fiscal conservatism, are you working with the Tea Party movement at all in your district?
Yes, we're actually having a candidates night on Wednesday night this week in the district, and I also had the privilege of attending one of the Tea Party rallies in Washington on Tax Day. And what strikes me about the Tea Party movement is how badly it's been misreported in the media. When I went to the rally on Tax Day, what struck me was that you have average citizens that are just fed up with the growth of government, with the fact that you have spending out of control, with the government takeover of the health care system, and people want to return to first principles. Basically, people want to return to letting individuals make decisions about their own lives rather than having the government do it for them. And so we're working with the Tea Party movement, and I think that their involvement in the process is very helpful.
Okay. All right, and then my last question would be, what question do you wish I had asked you but I didn't?
That is a good question. I guess I wish that you would ask me how we should go about controlling spending and getting the budget deficit under control.
Okay. How do we go about controlling spending and getting the deficit under control?
Well, I think that there are a couple of things you need to do. The first is that you need to focus on reforming entitlement programs. When they asked Willie Sutton why he robbed banks, his answer was that that's where the money is. And if you look at the federal budget, the primary cause of our long-term debt problem are the growth of entitlement programs over time, both because of the explosion of healthcare costs under Medicare and Medicaid and because of the aging of the population. And so we need to take a hard look at how do we reform Social Security, how do we reform Medicare in order to curb the growth in spending. We've put some specific proposals on the table that you can find on my website, barry2010.com. And so I think reforming entitlement programs is the first part of it. The second part of it is that you've got to get a control on domestic discretionary spending. Year to year, we're up in domestic spending because of the Obama administration, 15 to 20%. That's entirely unacceptable, and we've got to, at a minimum, freeze domestic discretionary spending, but ideally bring it down a bit because it was artificially increased because of the stimulus bill.
Okay. Well, I think that'll pretty much answer my questions for right now. I do want to thank you for taking the time to talk to us, and good luck on the campaign.
Thank you very much, Mo.